Okay. All right, so I'm starting the recording, and this will just get uploaded to YouTube for people that I don't know how many people are realistically going to view it, but whatever. Yeah, probably. That's fine. So I changed the way that I'm going to do grades again, just because we changed to a virtual classroom, and it's going to be better for you guys. So 50% of your grade is still the assignments, like the homework assignments.
Darn it. That means I got to do them.
That's right. Then 20% of your grade is going to be participation.
Like a boss.
Which is great, because participation is just, did you log in and were you an active participant? There he is. Yes. Did you log in and were you an active participant in the class?
Way to be on time, John.
Hi, John.
Always.
So, John, I was just explaining how the grading is working. I can't see you.
It's because I don't have a camera on my computer.
No worries. I can remember what you look like. I'll just think about it. That's
mental
fine.
Image.
Okay. Yeah, mental image. That's fine.
You can get on it on your phone.
The participation grade is either you participate in the Zoom meeting, or if you don't, you watch it on YouTube, take notes, do what you need to do, and then send that to me. That can be an alternate way to participate. The last 30% is just assessments. So quizzes, basically, which we'll probably have one later this week. Okay. Cool.
I'm definitely going to get kicked off of this.
I had to join my phone.
That's okay.
Wait, Tim, why do you have two people in this chat as yourself?
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Frozen.
Confused.
Okay.
Woods.
So I'm going to I'm going to mute you guys because you're annoying me. Hi. You can still unmute yourself, which is fine.
Yeah.
What's up, gang?
Oh my God. All right. If you need to jut in and ask a question. So I figured today, let's just do a recap on the area between curves. So let's just follow along. Let me screen share. Okay. All right. Can you guys see the blue screen? You can unmute and say so.
No.
Yes, yes.
All right. Cool.
If I can't see it, does that mean I have to do it?
You can see it. Okay.
No, I can't.
Can you really not?
No. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going through the PDF that I cut up on these different screens. So basically the area between curves, if you are dealing with X values, it's the top curve minus the bottom curve. And then if you're dealing with Y values, it's the right curve minus the left curve, which has been something that we've practiced. So let's take a look at the first example. And we're not going to use a calculator. And we're just going to do a quick sketch. So I would recommend just like following along on your paper if you printed it out. If not, just on a regular sheet of paper. We will end up using our calculator in a little bit, so just be sure you have that handy. And we're bounded vertically by x is 0 and x is 1. So 0 and 1. And then we have two functions. So I'm going to first just graph g of x, which is just a line. And it's going to go to here. So this line will look just like that and have the point 1, 1. And then e to the x So I'll have to move this a little bit. E to the 0 will give us 1. And then e to the first will give us e. So I want to extend my y value. E is 2.7. All right, so if we plug in 1 for f of x, we'll get e. So something like that. Okay. And we're bounded by these vertical lines here. So we're bounded essentially by x equals 0, which is the y-axis. And we're bounded by the line x equals 1. So 2 vertical lines here. So this is the coordinate point 1e. And this is the coordinate point 1, 1. If you guys have questions, please just ask them. That's fine.
Question.
Okay. Yes, what's up?
So like say I run into a situation like I don't know how to graph one of the functions. What should I do? Like
Use your calculator.
Okay.
Or make an XY chart, right? Like I
Got
could, if you just make like an XY chart for f of x,
Gotcha. All right.
you really only need to plug in 2 values, right? So e to the 0 is 1 and e to the first is just e, which is 2.7-ish.
Yeah, that was more for like if I couldn't use my calculator, I guess. Like
Gotcha.
that's like
Well, I'm going to get more information about the AP test on Friday. That's when the College Board's releasing it. So I don't really know how much will be calculator active versus not. So
Things that can stop us from cheating.
I know, right? I feel the same way.
5s on our AP exams. Thank you.
Get
All
a
right,
1
so
last year, 5 this year.
All right. Shut up. Okay, here we go. So,
I'll remember that now.
so this is a vertical distance here. So we essentially want to find the area between these 2 curves. Our green curve, e to the x, and our red curve, just x. And so since we're going vertically like this, it seems backwards, but since we want to do top curve minus bottom curve, and we're moving from left to right here. So this is going to be in terms of x. So if we want to find the area between these, we're traveling from where x is 0 to where x is 1. And we're taking our top curve, which is e to the x, and we're subtracting our bottom curve, which is x. Oops. And then it's in terms of x there. So we can do this by hand because we can integrate this. So if we take the antiderivative of e to the x, what do we get, guys?
E to the x.
E to the x, that's right.
Go.
And if we take the antiderivative of x, what do we get?
X squared over 2,
Yep, I do know. Okay, then we want to evaluate that at 1 and 0. So if we plug in 1, we'll have just e minus 1/2. That's plugging in 1. And then we'll plug in at 0 and evaluate. So e to the 0 is just 1 minus 0. So I don't need to do that. So this is going to be e minus 1/2 minus another whole.
Minus
so minus
3
3
halves.
halves. Cool. So if it was a no calculator problem, that would be what the answer would look like. If it was a calculator problem, it would look like some number that I don't know right now. 2.7 minus 1.5, something around there. Cool. Questions?
I'll put it into my calculator to get the right answer.
Okay. Yeah, so you can practice that. So if you put it in your calculator, if you just hit math 9 from 0 to 1.
1.218.
Cool. And then I'll make sure that that's what e minus 3/2 is. Yep, they're the same answer. Nice. All right, that one wasn't too bad. So let's do this one. I'm actually going to take it to the whiteboard on the Zoom app real quick. So it's x squared and 2x minus x squared. Okay. This is something cool that I can do. Was it just 2 minus x squared?
2x minus x squared.
Oh, 2x. Okay, 1 second. Okay, and it wants us to find the area between those two. What are we not given here?
The limit things.
The limits.
Yeah, right. So we need to find those. So if you'd like, you can put them on your calculator. Even though this one says no calculator, we can just put it on there. I don't really mind. We know what x squared looks like.
So a straight line.
Mm-hmm. It looks like this. And then the second one is going to open down. If we graph the two, we can see that they're going to intersect twice. And they intersect over at 1. Something like that. Now, how else could we find their points of intersection without using our calculator?
Set them equal to each other.
Yeah, set them equal to each other. I want to know when their y values are equal. And that'll allow us to find the x values when they're equal. So if we want to find their points of intersection, we can set them equal to each other. When we do that, we'll add x squared to both sides. And I guess I shouldn't have really done it that way. We can just get it to 0. So getting this to 0, I'll subtract x squared from both sides instead. All right, from here we can factor.
Factor out of 2x.
Yeah, if we factor out the 2x, what will we have left?
X minus 1.
Right. So that provides us with both solutions, right? If we set both of these factors to 0, this gives us x is 0. And if we set this factor to 0, it'll give us our other value of 1. I mean, we could just see that on our calculator. We could obviously use the intersect feature too on our calculator, which you guys have done throughout the year. But that one didn't really even require it because visually they're just nice numbers. So we really want to find this like tiny little area in here that I'll just color in yellow. And so who would like to set up the integral for us here?
I got it.
All right, P. White, go ahead.
So it's going to be from the limit of 0 to 1, the integral of 2x minus x squared minus x squared.
Cool, so you took the top one, 2x minus x squared, and then subtracted the bottom one.
Yes.
Good. All right, and we can simplify that a little bit by combining like terms. Running out of room. 2x minus 2x squared. So what I'd like you guys to do is work through that by hand, and then we'll verify on our calculator that we get the same answer. Patrick, why did you say 95 or 64 before?
Oh, it's like trees, woods. That's another thing. Like we have.
You know,
I don't,
Yeah.
no,
right.
I don't. I don't know.
It's in the
Nine.
chat, coach.
just keep your chin up to adversity.
Okay. Did you guys see we had a special guest there for a second?
I saw that.
There it is.
Who was it?
Busman.
He joined in.
Yeah, for like 10
Yes.
seconds.
I was
Whoops.
like, CJ, don't talk. CJ, don't talk. CJ, I'm just kidding.
Coach, I'm taking notes, you know.
Good. I'm
For
trying
one.
to like not. I wonder if
Bam,
I
I
can
got
like,
it right.
minimize
I even
this.
confirmed it with my calculator.
It's 1:30.
Oh,
Go, Pat.
don't, whoops. Nope. Didn't want to do that.
What was that, coach?
P.
I
White,
don't
what'd you
know.
get?
It still looks like an X. It's fine.
P. White, what'd you get?
1/3.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, Ty.
All
Good.
right.
That's what
So I'm
I
gonna
got.
bring the work up here. So if we integrate 2x, it's just x squared. And then if we integrate 2x squared, it'd be minus 2, oh my goodness, over 3
Oh,
x
snap.
cubed. Whoops. I can't write up there right now. Okay, from 1 to 0. All right, evaluating it at 1 will give us 1 minus 2/3. And then evaluating at 0 gives us nothing.
1/3.
So 1/3. Nice.
Smart I am.
All right. So this stuff isn't necessarily difficult. The idea is that, do we know how to do the fundamental theorem of calc, right? Can we integrate and then plug in a top limit minus the bottom limit? Yes. Do we understand that when we're finding the area between curves, we're essentially finding the area down to the x-axis under the green curve minus the area we don't want, which is under the red curve down to the x-axis. That's essentially why we subtract in the first place. Cool. Questions, guys?
Are we doing
Uh,
3?
But yeah,
Yeah, we're just gonna go through this. You guys aren't gonna have homework today.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll assign something small on Wednesday to be due on Friday by the end of the school day. But
Yeah.
kind of, this is something I forgot to say at the start too. I let you know how you're going to be graded. But the other kind of announcement I wanted to make was like, because we are now doing the classroom online for like 100 minutes a week, essentially, right?
It's a lot of time.
It is. So I feel like the learning can just take place then, and then I'll just give you one assignment. Right? That's better.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Before we continue,
you have
What's
to
up?
has
show up.
anyone seen Tiger King yet?
No, I started watching it and it was
Seen a lot of memes about it though.
I saw the preview.
I watched the entire thing in one day. Highly
You
recommend.
did, really?
Great film.
I started
Friday,
watching
just knock it out. It is 7 hours of your life that is worth spending on.
Is it though?
Yes.
I started watching it and it was just super weird, so I turned it off. You
I
know,
listened to a podcast about that guy like a long time ago. I'm like, oh, this is that weird guy. And yeah, so they made it into and now it's like blowing up. But
it's #1 watched on Netflix.
oh yeah. All right, let's take a look at the third example. This one's calculator permitted, so let's just put this into our calculators. So go ahead and put both of those functions in for y1 and y2. To keep it consistent, let's put this first function, e to the x plus 1, in for y1. And then the second one for y2.
Let's check for a second. Here, I just turned it. A little.
All right, and then the window I'm using, I just have a window from -5 to 5 everywhere. But we'll see if that works for this well or not. If you have a window from -5 to 5, it's like too big. So probably the best window is to just go from like -2 to 2 in both directions. Your y-min doesn't even need to be negative. It can just be 0 because this is above the x-axis. And we might want to go a little taller than 2 on the y-axis. Make the y max 2.5.
So we're looking for that little thingy? The
Yeah,
little-
it's pretty small. It's pretty small.
Got it.
So my window right now, my x-min is -2 and my x-max is 2. And then my y-min is 0. And I set my y-max at 2.5. And that's just because the overlap of those two, basically like the tiny little area that they make, is so small. So I wanted to like really hone in on it. So we can graph it. Oh, that was such a good line. Okay. 1, 2. It looks like they intersect right at 2. They actually do. And that's because if you plug in 0 here, you'll get 2. And if you plug in 0 here, you'll get 2. So they definitely both intersect at 0, 2. Okay. Not horrible. So we're looking again for this small area, but we need to find our limits of integration. So what I'd like you guys to do is find, we know what this coordinate is. It's 0, 2. If you didn't see that, you can always use your intersect feature on your calculator. Go ahead and use that to find this point. So second trace and then intersects number 5. And since there's 2 points of intersection, in order for your calculator to get the one that you want to like go closer to that point with your little like blinky thing when you select the first and second curves. All right, can someone share our point of intersection?
I got x is -0.715,
Cool.
and then y is 1.489.
Awesome. Thank
Good
you,
job,
Nate.
Gliverman.
Let's go.
Cookie?
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Freeze woods.
So we're not
Cookie.
going to show any work that leads to our answer because we were using our calculator.
Hey,
All
Ben,
right.
do Ben.
So kind of a neat thing that you can do, I'm going to walk you through how to store something on your calculator. So if you want to store that whole x value and not round it, because we're going to go from x's negative point, it's 714,556 technically here, to x's 0. And we'll do our top minus our bottom again, practicing the same thing. But I'm going to walk you guys through storing something on your calculator as a number. So if you hit second mode to quit, and then if you just hit the X button, like the variable key, and hit enter, it should give you the last value that X was. So if you hit the X key and then hit enter, it should give you -0.714556, da 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 da. Are you guys seeing that?
Yes.
Okay, because this is kind of a neat thing.
Smart
Then
idea.
if you go down on the left column of your calculator, right above the on button, there's a button that says STO with an arrow. That's your store key.
Where's
and you can
that at?
store, if you go the left column of buttons on your calculator, right above the on button at the bottom,
Oh,
the STO button, right next to the number 1, basically. If you hit the STO, it'll say answer and then an arrow on your screen. Then you can save that. So if you have, it says, whoops, STO key, it says answer, arrow. And then if you hit like alpha and then A, you can store that value as A. So if you hit enter after typing this in, it stores that value as A, and you don't have to round. So I have stored A as the negative 0.714556, that intersection. We're actually not going to do part D here. We're only going to do part C. So this is asking us to use vertical slices. Basically, it's asking us to find all the areas of these mini rectangles in here, right? Which is essentially integrating our top minus our bottom here. So we're going from that negative 0.715, which I stored as A in my calculator, to where X is 0 of our top function, which is 2 minus X squared, minus our bottom function, which is e to the x plus 1. Which definitely needs parentheses, or you need to just distribute it like straight up. So you could also write it as minus e to the x minus 1 if you want. So again, this allows us to kind of use our calculator's many functions to help us. So if you'd like to try that, hit math 9. And then instead of having to type in that whole decimal that we found, or even round it, you can literally just type in A, since you've stored A to be that value. So from A to 0 of 2 minus X squared minus
can't you just
this
do
in parentheses.
y2 minus y1?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for
Smart
pointing
I
that
am.
out. I forgot we had those stored. I'm actually going to do that. Thank you, CJ.
Smart I am.
All right, so we stored,
Got
that
it.
is y2. The top function is y2 minus our bottom function was y1. That's even better. So alpha trace to get y2 minus alpha trace to get y1 dx. All right, who would like to share what we got here?
0.0824.
Awesome. So you can write it like this, or you can round. Actually, we only need 3 decimal places. So just writing it out to 0.082 is fine. Or if you wanted to round this up to a 4, that's fine. Nice. And it was a very small area, so it made sense that it was tiny. Cool. Good job, guys.
Smart.
Smart we are.
That's right. That's right.
Good we are.
Wait, most of us can show up on time too.
Okay. So I'm going to have you guys practice this one. Can I go back to the Zoom recording, or does this need to be on the screen? Does everybody
This
have
is
this like
fine.
in front of them instead?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to go back to the Zoom meeting. Okay, so go ahead and try that one. This is just like you try problems in class. Where's Tony? Is anybody gonna text him and tell him he's missing out on a great time?
He's not showing up to any class.
No? Why?
He legitimately told us that he's not coming to any of them.
Senioritis hitting hard. Is anybody's senioritis hitting pretty hard?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
not even
understand.
senioritis. I
No.
just don't think these Zoom meetings are as productive as they want them to be.
Yeah, I feel you.
No, definitely not.
For like the APs, I think it's worth it, but like our theology, like
Bro, what?
Yeah, it's just a straight waste.
waste of my time. Be doing much better things.
I will say it's like a little bit less work for me because to make all those videos, that was like
Yeah.
pretty intense.
I mean, as long as we're like doing more on the Zoom stuff and less like work outside of it, then I'd be fine with it. But if it's still a ton of work outside of the Zoom calls and we have to be there, then it's like, why?
Yeah. John, were you on when I said
Yeah,
that you're
you
just
said
gonna have
no,
the one assignment?
no, yeah, no homework today, or the
Yeah,
one
okay.
assignment.
Yeah, I'll give you it on Wednesday.
The answer is E. Smart I am.
Hold up.
Plugged it into the calculator.
You know what? Who cares? I'm doing that.
Easy this is.
How did you guys know about like that we were doing this? Did you just get an email?
From the
Yeah,
man who made
yeah,
the
from
website.
When? On Friday or yesterday?
Friday.
Yeah.
Friday.
Clean shave, collared shirt, parley.
Thanks, y'all.
What are they gonna do? Give us the merits and make us walk a penalty tour?
Grapes will come to our house and give us a penalty tour. They'll PT us.
We'll be put on a cleaning detail.
House cleaning detail.
John, are you gonna write me up?
Wait, my bad. Class attention.
I did do that in biology this morning.
Did you really?
No, she's like, someone called the class to attention. I was like, you're not being serious.
Yeah, like we don't want to do this.
Who shared their screen? Oh,
Me.
random white.
Who the?
All right.
Coach, 12 minutes, then I'm logging off. Just letting you know.
It won't be that much longer. Oh, not as good of an x-axis as I drew before. That's fine. Okay. So we got y equals x squared as one of them. Boop. And then we have y equals negative x. Boom. All right. From 0 to 3. So you did not have to draw this at all, but we just had to know which one was on top and which one was the bottom curve, right? So in this case, our line is the bottom curve, and this is the top. Okay, so we should have from 0 to 3 of x squared minus negative x dx. And it didn't say calculator or non-calculator active, so you can totally use a calculator. You end up getting 13.5.
Only
Which
7
is
halves,
E.
you know.
Yes, I do know. No, whatever. Okay. All right, go ahead and try the second one. Number 2.
See.
Is everyone able to see it if I don't go to the screen?
Maybe.
Okay, let me go there real quick. Okay, there's the problem. So in this case, we do need to utilize our calculator, definitely, and utilize the intersect feature to find our upper limit of integration. So go ahead and work on this one. Once we talk through it, we'll be good for today. Also, be sure that you're in radian mode. I'm not actually sure if that's going to matter, but probably. All right, does anybody have what the solution should be?
C.
Okay.
B.
Just kidding. I haven't finished it yet.
Okay, that's fine. Keep working.
B. Spot I am.
Cool. Okay, we end up finding the intersection is when x is 1.139. And I'm again going to use that store feature on my calculator. So once you find the intersection and you determine that the top curve is the E one, that's the top curve, and then the sine curve is the lower curve. Once you determine that, if you quit again and then hit your X key, hit enter, and then stow, and you can store it as whatever letter you want. I'm going to store it as A again. So now I've stored A as this value right here. It'll still work just fine if you don't do this. I just think it's a neat calculator feature. I ended up storing this as Y1, and I stored this one as Y2. So Y1 is the top curve, Y2 is the bottom curve. And that's just better to do, I think, than having to retype all of this junk out every time, because you probably will make a mistake.
You know.
Yep, don't have a lot of faith. So from 0 to A of Y1 minus Y2 dx, we get 1.445, which is B.
Good we are at this.
Easy.
All right.
Is.
It's not too bad. Yeah, it was just like, I just wanted to make today kind of
Not even going to be on the AP exam.
I don't know what's going to be on the AP exam. I'll have more info on Friday. But I do know that
Watch it
the
be like
BC
only first
exam,
semester.
no, it's going to cover units 1 through 8. So we skip 7, and then parts of unit 10.
Burnt.
So there are free like webinars on YouTube if you're interested for unit 7. And I'll send that through an email if you're interested in learning that unit. But we're just going to get through unit 8 this year. So we'll have covered almost everything that will be on the slightly modified exam,
45 minutes.
which will be taken at home and be 45 minutes long.
Thanks for not using my phone.
That's crazy.
So I don't know if they're still going to, I know it is crazy. I don't know
It's so
how they
odd.
still charge the same amount.
You want
What's
to make
up?
a group chat and then you want to help us?
That's fine.
I don't know how they're gonna do it. Like when I took tests in grad school that I did online, they made me like show the whole area so that they could determine that I didn't have any like thing to do with. It was
What
crazy.
are they really going to do that for the whole country?
Oh, I have no idea. I doubt it. I'm just saying that
Nah.
like Penn State had like a proctoring service that was like outsourced
Were they Indians?
online.
You were a Nittany Lion?
Yeah, I think a lot of people were from India. What?
You were a Nittany Lion?
Yeah, I never set foot on the campus, but I
Oh,
have a degree.
good.
Got my graduate degree in statistics from there online. All right, guys.
Ellis Brooks.
Anything else you want to say or forever hold your peace until Wednesday at noon?
So we
No,
don't have
I-
to do anything until Wednesday.
That is correct, sir. I'll
Cool.
give you some stuff to do on Wednesday.
Like a boss.
Okay.
Peace out,
Thank
coach.
you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Adios.
Adios.
Bye.
Yeah.